whatnot. And this is the first time that I've taught in a little while. So let me look back and see when my last class was. And those of you that are watching this on YouTube or watching the replay know that all of my previous lessons are available on YouTube. And I'm curious, it's been so long, guys. And we can talk a little bit about why. Why have I so going? And then I'm going to go ahead and get a giveaway pinned because that is always fun. So let me go ahead and get that pinned. And then I'm going to look and see when my last teaching class was. Well, it's not popping up. That means it was longer ago than the current list of previous live streams, ended live streams. How's everyone doing today? Are we doing okay? Like I said, I've had some trouble motivating myself to go live, but these Tara Teaches sessions do help me review my best practices. And obviously, if I'm going to teach you, then I'm going to try some of those things out. So welcome in. Those of you that are new here, let me take a minute to introduce myself. My name is Tara. I go by Tara Y Casas here on Whatnot. I've been on the app for almost a year. January 7th is my anniversary date. Prior to selling full time, more or less, on Whatnot, I was a boutique owner and I had a beautiful boutique at the beach. It was all kids' merchandise, clothes and toys for girls and boys, mostly swimsuits, flip flops, cover ups, things like that. And we closed that shop up a little bit over right about 2 years ago now. It was at the end of October. And so we moved all of that merchandise from where I was living in Florida to where I now live in California, since it's a beach as well. I thought maybe I would open up another shop here. Since that hasn't happened, I've been slowly selling off my new with tags inventory, show by show here on Whatnot. And then I have dabbled in some of the other platforms. If you know me well or have heard me say it before, I really hate photographing clothes. It's just my least favorite thing to do as part of retail and reselling. So it's very difficult to sell on other platforms if you don't like to photograph. So I've enjoyed Whatnot, where I get to talk about the clothes and show them to you and describe why I chose those items for my shop, why they maybe didn't sell at the time, like corduroys and snow pants at the beach. What was I thinking? And so this afternoon, I am hopeful that I'm going to be able to have a preteen next week. That is something that we can talk about as well. But yeah, that's my background. My background is in retail, over 10 years, owning my own shop and then working corporate retail before that. And then now almost a full year of live streaming. And my stats are pretty good since they're all organic here on the app. Last I checked, I keep track of them on a calendar, and I think that's one way to motivate yourself to go live. I have 3,500 followers, and again, only a dozen or so of those are friends or family or former customers. Those are all organic from doing giveaways and hosting shows here on Whatnot. And then I just crossed over from 8,000 sales. Usually at the end of the month or beginning of the month, I do a big push because I have a storage bill to pay. I've got 2 huge storage units, and I'm not yet at a point where hopefully by the end of the year, I can combine those two and stop paying storage on all of this inventory. So 8,194 solds. More than half of that is kids merchandise. Like I said, mostly new with tags items, a little bit of pre-loved, either from my own kiddos closet or from my thrifted finds here in Los Angeles. And then a lot of snacks. I've been selling snacks. Started doing that this summer with Mexican candy and then Filipino snacks. And then I've done some Asian snacks. And tonight I may try and do some snack boxes because I really need to clear out the snacks and start to make space for our holiday decorations since Thanksgiving is around the corner and Christmas soon thereafter. So 57 seconds left on the clock, and you'll get a choice of coffee. Every teacher loves coffee, right? And I bought both of these thinking that they would make really good. I like a coffee or espresso martini every now and then, but every now and then it needs a little bit of flavor too, just like coffee and vodka is, it's not always the best combination. So this one is Harry and David vanilla creme brulee. Sounded really yummy to me. And then this one is Jim Beam vanilla bourbon. So either for your morning coffee or if you're feeling adventurous for a coffee cocktail. That's what I had in mind for these. Do as you please. So if you're not a coffee drinker, gift it to a teacher or another friend that does drink coffee. Can put it together in a nice little basket. And so that is the quick giveaway that we're going to do in a few seconds here, right? Yum. And I'd love for you guys to introduce yourself in the chat. Let me know if you're a buyer or a seller or both. If you are interested in selling. Dino, let me know which coffee you'd like me to send your way. Would you like the Jim Beam vanilla or the Harry and David vanilla? Vanilla or vanilla? We've got bourbon vanilla or vanilla creme brulee. Creme brulee, Dino, coming your way. Congrats. And then I'll save this one. I'm going to try this one. I'll let you know if it's any good. Leo, if you're listening in, I would love to try and do coffee cocktail tonight. Now that it's starting to finally get a little bit chilly here in California, you can see the eucalyptus trees behind me and the sun is shining. It doesn't get cold. It only gets chilly. All right. So yes, please introduce yourselves a little bit in the chat. New seller, Christy, welcome. Yeah, we all buy a lot from Whatnot too. That's part of what. Thank you, Leo, for commenting about listening about the updates. I was arguing a little bit on Discord. Are you guys on Discord? Let me type that into the chat. Are you a part of the Discord? If you are not, you need to email seller. I need you guys to join Discord with me at whatnot.com. Dino, well, don't be scared. I am here to help. I'm always looking for new proteges. I love mentoring people. If you're selling in baby and kids, especially, I can give you tons of advice. If you're selling in coffee, snacks, garage sales, anything that's kind of general merchandise, I can't be super helpful when it comes to like estate sales or anything that is breakable. Ooh, that shipping kind of scares me, and I'm not as knowledgeable about those communities, jewelry. Women's fashion is a little bit crowded, and so it can be hard to get a footing in there. I feel like, at least personally, I have tons of women's clothes to sell, but I too have had trouble really like breaking into and getting into the habit of women's sales. But I'd love to hear what it is that you'd like to sell, and then I can tailor some of the suggestions that I make today to you. Hi, Envy. Welcome in. I would love for a few of you that are sellers to please email right now while we're talking about it, seller support at whatnot.com, and ask for an invitation link to the Discord. If you're not familiar with Discord, it's an app that also has a desktop version that is community based, similar. I like to call it like an old school chat room. It's a little bit hard for me to describe because I only use it for Whatnot. Other people use it if they're in the gaming community. And I feel like I'm a Mac person, and I feel like it's more PC users in there. And specifically on the Whatnot platform, there are differences between Android and iOS or iPhone devices. And so there are times where I can't answer a question or where a bug that I have or a suggestion that I make isn't available to Android users. Long story short, there's a bunch of feedback channels there where you can ask questions, make suggestions. And I feel like sometimes I'm a woman on my own island because there are no other baby and kids sellers over there, no other snack sellers commenting and talking about both the good and the bad of Whatnot from our perspective. It's super saturated with trading card people. Love the trading card people. I know that they are the highest generating category on the app. But as the app grows, they need more views, points of view from those of us that aren't trading card or sneaker sellers. Okay. So if you could please join me over there on Discord, send me a private message here on Whatnot and say, I have no idea what you're talking about. I sent it and I don't know what to do. And I can try and help you. I always liken it to driving stick shift. So like if you know how to drive and you once learned how to drive stick shift and then you're forced to do it, it's possible, but not easy. And many of the people that are like-minded like me that sell in snacks and kids and books, they say, I hate Discord. I don't like it. because it's clunky, like stick shift. It's hard. It's a whole separate language. I'm not selling it very well, am I? But I do need you over there. I need us changing the conversation because I'm the squeaky wheel that's saying this isn't working. Can we please fix it? And I need a few more people saying it along with me so that it becomes priority. All right, enough about Discord. I can come back to it later, but that's part of why I was late. I was checking the feedback because if you guys have a question I can't answer, I ask on Discord. All right. A Beauty Lynn is brand new here, just ordered some stuff the other day, wanting to sell as well. Perfect. We many of us start as buyers. If you haven't already applied to sell, I do have a link. All of us sellers have a link that sometimes can propel you forward in the application process. It seems like things have changed since I applied. I actually started to apply for my husband just so that I could see the process, and I need to pick that back up so that I can better talk to you. Let me make that note. I'm always making notes about the approval process because I was trying to think of what some of my other lessons could be. And so I'm going to put that down as a next lesson. Approvals process. Otherwise, I tend to talk about the things that have changed because the app changes from day to day and hour to hour. Hi, Rusty. Welcome in. Everybody is just kind of introducing themselves. We've got a couple new sellers in here. Dino75 is doing clothing, mostly men's and women's, as well as vintage. Vintage, I think, is an easier category to maybe get started in. I feel like there's fewer shows and it's a really fun community. I don't know. I love vintage. I thrift it, but I just don't know much about it. I only kind of recognize it by the tags when I see it, but I would love to sell some vintage too. I just don't feel as comfortable talking about it other than to say, I think this is vintage. But I need to give one of those shows a try. That's a goal for me. And then Beauty Lynn is hoping to become a seller, and Rusty is a seller. I think Key is also a seller. I recognize that name. Always Flippin' seems to be a seller. So there'll be people that pop in and out. And like I said, I do these shows knowing that some people will listen to them in the background when they are listing or packing. And I am live streaming on YouTube as well. Did you know that that's something you can do? It's called multicasting. And I have not done it yet to my Facebook page. So I'm going to make that note too. That's another personal goal for me. So one of the things that I wanted to do was just talk a little bit about our goals. Okay. So I'm going to pin to the bottom of the page what I like to call a signpost. It's words. It's words in a listing that isn't actually for sale. That's why it says that it's $1 million. Because I'm not actually going to run this as an auction and it's not an item that's truly for sale. It is a reminder to me to tell my audience that this is what we're going to talk about. Or in your case, if you're a seller, you can use these signposts to tell your live stream audience, to tell the chat, hey, give me a second. I'm grabbing more inventory, more boys to come next. Or I like to do one. Here's a couple of other examples. I usually have this one. I clone it to every show. And I usually have it pinned to the bottom for anybody that is popping into my shows before they start. Lots of people like to look at your show and see what it's going to be about. They'll look at your show notes. They'll look at your bin. They'll look at your auction. They'll look, at your page. And if the live stream is completely empty, they may or may not bookmark it. If you've got a catchy title, they'll maybe bookmark it, or if they know you already. But there are so many opportunities to communicate with your chat, to communicate with your buyers before the live stream even starts. And the one that I'm talking about right now, I call a signpost. It's a listing that you create, that you put at the bottom with or without a picture. If you click on the word bookmark, you'll see a picture of the Whatnot logo pops up. You can always just kind of use the Whatnot logo if it's something, or your thumbnail that isn't for sale. And sometimes I even type in the words do not bid or this is not for sale. So there's no confusion, but I don't think there's any confusion there. If you haven't already bookmarked my shows for this week, please do. We have to actively remind and teach our buyers how to bookmark. Not everybody has been on Whatnot since January. Some of them just joined the app today. Some of them are listening on YouTube and they haven't found their way over to Whatnot yet. So let me remind you guys how to bookmark and then teach you that this is what you need to sometimes slow down and teach your audience. And you don't have to do it at the start, because sometimes if you're talking too much, people will be tuning you out and moving on to the next thing. They're there to buy. This is a teaching class, so I'm going to talk a lot. But I would say if this were my normal show, I would maybe during the giveaway or after the first sale or two, pin this to the bottom and say, hey, everybody, if you would please bookmark my shows, this is how you do it. Click on my name up at the top where it says Tara E. Casas, and then there's view profile. If you click on view profile, it won't kick you out of the show. It'll open up my page at the same time, and you can go through and click the little white bookmark in the top right corner. Then you'll get a notification every time I go live, or a notification for every one of those shows, rather. And again, we've got to teach our buyers. That's my number one tip. Check it out. Moving this to the bottom. My number one tip for today and every time I teach is that you've got to teach your buyers how to use the platform. Now, you don't have to do a session like this. Rather, you have to take a buyer's mindset every now and then in the middle of your show. If you've got 9 or 10 people, that's great. 9 or 10 is a good average. Just stop and talk to them for a second and say, hey guys, this has been a great show. I'm so happy. I'm definitely going to take some requests, but I do want to take a minute to remind you guys to bookmark because it's so important to me. And then that also reminds you, I better schedule some shows, because if I'm asking my buyers to bookmark, I have to have shows for them to bookmark. And that's the number one mistake that new people make, is they only schedule one show at a time or 2 shows at a time. Schedule 10, schedule 20. You can schedule as many as you want. I probably have 50 shows scheduled, and I only have 20 of them visible because I click on the button that says enable private mode if I want it hidden from view, and that allows me to kind of tinker with it and figure out exactly what I want that show to be. But if I've chosen a date and time, or I've got some merchandise that I know is arriving or that I'll finally dig out, like the shoe show. I don't have a shoe show, I don't think, planned right now that you can bookmark, but there's one already created. It's like a draft. So plan your shows. Plan your shows. If you're going to ask for bookmarks, you got to have shows that they can bookmark. Okay, so that's one of my number one tips. Let me check and see if there's any other. Oh, Christie's, I missed your comment. You do jewelry and garage sale. Please follow one another. A Beauty Lynn, follow Christie's Closet. Christie's Closet, follow A Beauty Lynn. Follow Dino75. Follow one another. I've had a lot of people make connections in these shows because then you can become mods for one another as well. All right. And Emma, what is it that you are going to be selling? Oh, thank you, Rusty. I appreciate it so much. Yeah, I haven't, like I said, I haven't taught in a while, and I was trying to figure out when the last class was. It was back in September, maybe. Let's see. And so I know by getting out of the habit, September 19th, that people don't always know or come. So I am going to tag a few friends before we jump right into the lesson. I think, let's see. I had a list of students. So that's another tip, is if you create a list of some of the people. So let's say you always have a boys show. You can look at your buyers and you can look in the chat at those people that request and physically create a list of people that you can then tag in the chat. I find that it's easier to do on desktop because then I can cut and paste it more easily. Than I'm not as fluid with texting and tagging. Giveaway winners. There's my Mexican. Here's my tags for teaching. So Rusty's right there at the front. Let me go ahead, and this is what I'm going to teach you to do now. Okay. So have a list of interested buyers or friends that you can tag. and they may or may not be on the app. They may or may not come in and say hi, but this is the best way to build community and to, you know, to have fun is to have a set of people that you enjoy talking to and to roll call them in. Okay, so I have lots of lists. I have lists of people that participated in raid trains that I had before. I have lists of people that are interested and have purchased Mexican candy. I have a half dozen or so lists for buyers that I can tag or friends that I can tag in my shows. So that is another quick tip. Start a list. Pencil and paper works really well. Otherwise, cut and paste. That is smart, Rusty. That's not trolling. That's being a business person. I do the same thing. I actually have a spreadsheet started. It's hard for me. I actually need to write down that that's what I'm going to do for an hour each week because I get distracted and I start to do other things. But I created a spreadsheet of size requests. It is not trolling if you go into somebody else's show and you're participating and you know that so what trolling would look like is if you try and then capture that buyer within the chat and you say, hey, at Tara E. Casas, I have boys size 7 jeans if you come to my show, especially if the seller hasn't invited you to share in the chat that you're also a seller. But if you just write down that Tara E. Casas is interested in size 7 jeans, and then later after the show ends that you're watching that person is sitting in, you send them a message and you can even say to them, I saw that you were interested in size 7 jeans. I wanted to let you know I have a boys jeans show coming up on Thursday. Oh, and specifically, here's a listing in my marketplace if you're interested. The person might be caught off guard or taken aback, but there's nothing, in my opinion, wrong with that. You're trying to help fill a need. But yeah, I do that all the time when I remember, and I need to do more of that. Watching the chat, even better if you can mod for someone and at the same time keep a size request list that the two of you can share. A friend of mine, Ashley, and I kind of started to try and do that, and again, it's difficult. It's difficult to watch a show, moderate it, and keep a list of the running size requests, because you get distracted by the good stuff that they're selling or by thoughts in your head of what you are planning for your next show. But I suggest it, actually. Yeah, exactly. Rusty's given a good tip. Hi, Boogs. How are you doing? How are you feeling? Hi, Ava and Mary. We are chit-chatting, talking about some of the best practices that we can do to increase the number of buyers in our show. Rusty made the suggestion of, making a list of the buyers and their requests based on what you see in other people's show, obviously in addition to your own shows, but it can be difficult to keep that list. So if you moderate for somebody else, try to do that. If you type the word lesson in my auction, you'll see all of the lessons that I've already done. I've already done a lesson on goal setting, and I think that's one that we just continue to come back to. I am planning to do a late night teaching show one night where I don't look at and engage the chat and I just repeat every single lesson so that it's like a 2-hour show. I haven't done that yet. Maybe after the first of the year. I have some goals that I need to reach first. Then, for those of you that are new, we did a lesson on have you scheduled your first show and what might that look like? These are some of the things that we discussed. We've also done a lesson already on preparing for your first live show, making sure that you have your things all set up. You can do a test live. It's called a private live. You would have to enable private mode if you feel like going live and seeing what you look like on camera. That feature is called enable private mode, and I can show you what that looks like and where you can find that. So I'm going to go to the top of my list. I'm going to hit refresh. So I have my desktop. When you see me looking to the side, I'm looking at the desktop. I'm streaming from the camera, but I am using my desktop. And when you go to your live streams list, it'll list all of the live streams that you have planned, and then your most recent live streams are down at the bottom. Obviously, if it's your first show, you maybe only have one in the list. I suggest always have at least two, maybe closer to 10 planned out. The current live stream that is playing will have a little red word that says playing. And there is an option to, maybe it's, there it is, start sharing. So I'm going to start sharing my screen with you, and it'll divide my my live stream. I have not really seen a reason for any of you to do this other than what I'm doing, which is teaching. Supposedly, it maybe can help some people that stream from their desktop, like in the cards category and stuff, but I've never seen anybody effectively use it in a live stream show that is baby, women's, books, snacks, garage sales, storage units, the kind of merchandise shows that I tend to watch. So I am going to share, let's go ahead and share my entire screen. Okay, so it's going to pop up at the bottom, and it should pop up at the bottom. Did it pop up at the bottom? It didn't. It's supposed to. There it is. For some reason, I don't see it there, but I see it here. All right, so let me go back, and this is what I wanted to show you. I lost my train of thought. Oh, right here, enable private mode. So let me see if that shows up. Yes, do you see where I've got my laptop as well? So I've got a third view. Do you see where I'm circling this little back and forth that says enable private mode? That button is important for two reasons. One, if you want to do your first show as a test show without anybody seeing it, or with only one or two invited guests. If you click enable private mode, that means when you go live, you won't appear as a thumbnail in the category, and nobody will get a notification because it's a private show and they haven't had a chance to bookmark it. If you tag somebody, a friend, you can always tag me. I'll come into any show that I'm tagged in if I'm on the app. I actually don't get tagged very much. I'd like to get tagged more. I want to see new and fun things and support new sellers. So enabling private mode allows you to do a private live stream where it's just you and a friend, or just you talking to yourself, getting used to all of the buttons, the view, this, that, and the other. The other reason, so here, look, watch this, guys. Whoa, ready to blow your mind? These are all of the live streams that I have planned. Scrolling, 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 still scrolling, scrolling, scrolling. I told you I have like 50 planned. But all of the ones that are later that I'm not quite, there's that shoe show that I told you about, the shoe show. It's in private mode. And if I'm ready to then start marketing it, I'm going to click disable private mode. When I disable private mode, that means that that thumbnail is now going to appear on my list of live streams if somebody goes to check which shows I have planned. So I mean, I've been doing this for a while now, and not everybody does it this way. I could be the only one that has like 50 shows scheduled, but I like to. I like to schedule a bunch and then kind of move the dates around a little bit. Now, I will say, you can't move your show over and over and over again and then expect people to actually come. And I have moved my shows too much. I'm a busy mom of four, and we have a lot of issues that come up. My kids go to 4 different schools, so sometimes it's a transportation issue, sometimes one of them is homesick. You get it. So as a busy mom of 4 that does this as a stay-at-home or work-from-home job, I often do have to cancel schedule, but I never truly cancel. I always move it to a different date and time, and I try to leave a note in the chat if I do that. As it is right now, you do not get penalized for moving the date and time of your show. Eventually, that could be a thing, but I haven't seen any penalty for it yet. I've not received any warnings. So as it is right now, I schedule a bunch. I put them in private mode if I don't want anybody to see them yet. And then once I've chosen the thumbnail, I've decided on the date and time, and I've got a good title and maybe a little bit of merchandise in that show, then I disable private mode and start to try and collect those bookmarks. Okay. All right. Unless anybody has any questions about this screen or about what I've just said, I'm going to stop sharing. Um, Yeah, no, there are quite a few moms with babies, moms with toddlers that schedule a nap time show that have to move it. I feel like those of us in the baby and kids category understand that most of us that are selling are moms without a second set of hands at home with kids that are at home, or with young kids that have a school schedule, and so there's pickup and drop off, and that's why the baby and kids division can be pretty saturated with shows during school hours when kids are at school, and why we had a huge drop off over the summer because moms were busy with their kids. There's a lot of opportunity in baby and kids in the very early morning hours and in the very late hours. Lots of moms are also insomniacs. I did one show that was like almost not quite 12-hour show. I think it was 10 and a half hours. And it was really interesting for me to see the number of people that came in and out of that show. I consistently had about 20 people shopping the whole time, but it was always 20 different people. And there were some people that shop with me before they went to bed, and then some people that, those same people would shop with me again when they woke up, which just kind of blew my mind. I wasn't planning on that, but I was like, wait, have you been awake with me this whole time? And they said, no, I went to bed and I'm back up again. Okay, yeah, with all the different time zones, like so since I'm in California, a lot of times I'll have a show. I'm like, oh, 6 o'clock is a great time for me, or 7 o'clock, but it's already 10 o'clock on the East Coast. So it's a little too late for some of my moms that try to get to bed early. Just keep that in mind when you're scheduling shows, that the time that works for you may or may not work for all of the other moms out there. And don't be afraid to change your times, and don't be afraid to do a really early morning show or a really late or a middle of the night show, because there's very, very few people in baby and kids that are doing those. Same thing with snacks. Nobody does early morning shows in the snack division. Some people do late night snacks, but not very many. Okay, it's not a very crowded space. Oh, I'm sorry. Too cute. Rough day with their grandparents' health. I know that you've been battling that for a while. I don't have any good jokes off the top of my head. We've been playing games here, and we tried playing one that was puns, and puns are punny, but I'm not good at coming up with them. So let me see. Did you know that Friday, August 16th is Tell a Joke Day? Tickle your funny bone. What do you call a fake dad? A faux pas. uh, how do you make an egg roll? How do you make an egg roll? You push it. um, is there anything worse than this is funny. Is there anything worse than when it's raining cats and dogs? Yes, hailing taxis. No, I typed in joke of the day, and then this one is from the Today Show dad jokes. Hailing taxis. So thank you for reminding me that sometimes, you know what, that's actually not a bad idea, is putting a joke at, so I was talking about trying to engage your chat. That's one of the other lessons that I've given, that we need to revisit. Let's see, of course my internet always gives me a hard time. We were on lesson number 4, and then I was going to go back and review lesson number 5 a little bit, but one of them was engaging the chat. And one of the things that you can do is put a joke somewhere, put a joke up in the show notes, put a joke over in the chat. Like, obviously you don't want to do it over and over unless you're a comedian. Knowing the lingo is important. There's a lot of words and acronyms. And if you don't know what something is, don't be afraid to ask in the chat. Either another buyer will tell you or another seller will tell you. We're super friendly about explaining, like, what do you mean bid? What do you mean pin? What do you mean mod? If you don't know, ask. Somebody will tell you. It's okay to ask. It's super okay to ask. And we're all about helping one another have more sales. I'm going to drink a little bit of water. All right. So we did a lesson about, thinking about our first shows and what that felt like. Then I already highlighted a little bit of this, how you can gain bookmarks for your next shows. If you have any questions specific to each of these individual lessons that we've already done, I can try and answer those quickly. But otherwise, I'm just kind of scrolling through them, seeing if anything else comes to mind new since I've done those lessons. Oh, we can't use stories anymore. Lesson 8. Tell me in the chat, did you like the stories feature? I know Rusty did. I did a whole lesson on how to use stories to advertise and sell. I kind of fell out of the habit of making stories. I fully admit that, but I did enjoy them. I didn't like when they switched it from the home page to the followed host page, but stories are gone now. And the reason had to do something with they saw that there was less buying. I don't know. I really didn't understand the reason that Whatnot gave. And I have communicated in the Discord that I would like them to come back and that I would like them to come back for buyers as well. I would love to follow some. I feel like I don't get to know my buyers very well. Like if some of them don't even have a profile picture, and so I get this image in my mind of who the buyer is, but because they don't go live unless I invite them to co-host, I've never seen these people, and some of them I've known for 6, 7, 8 months. They've been consistently buying from me, and so a few of them I follow on Instagram, but I would love to follow them on Whatnot and see their stories up at the top, their purchases and their lives, and just kind of get to know them better. Wouldn't that be nice? And exactly, you need an iPhone for them. So they never upgraded it or coded it in a way that it was available for Android users. We talked about that at the start of this show too. And so I feel like they gave up on it um, before they fine-tuned it. And Whatnot itself, like, that was a good place sometimes to find out about new features and new updates, but I feel like they didn't do it consistently either. When they would make a big change, like, hey, we're rolling out stories, or we're going to put a new banner down at the bottom that says buy it now. I wish that Whatnot would continue to do those stories. I forgot about that. I'm going to add that to my list of, hey, I really liked it when Whatnot did these stories. I've got a whole list here of glitches and suggestions. Bring back stories from Whatnot as updates. I did enjoy looking at those stories, and I would like them to come back, and I feel bad now that I didn't take better advantage of them in the last few months before they went away. But that was that was a lesson that I can't teach right now because it's no longer available. But I can tell you, get on the Discord and ask for it to come back, or ask. Just send an email to seller support and say, hey, I would really like you to forward this to whoever made the decision to take away stories. Rusty, you should do that. Send an email. The more we cluck about it, and then maybe it'll come back. Signposts, I talked about at the beginning of this lesson again, or the beginning of this session. Signpost is what I've given as the name for these things down at the bottom here that you see me flipping through. They're listings that have words instead of bids and items to bid on. And we've talked a little bit about this again too, just kind of engaging the chat, welcoming them in, having a mod, telling a joke, thanking them after the show. That's a big one. This is one that I've been doing more of. This so we'll talk about it as a new feature, but sometimes you have people that are late to your show, so late that they miss the show. And if they miss the show, the last comment will still appear if they click on that thumbnail and go to it. So I like to add a little thank you, or I'll be back tonight at 7, kind of just a little footnote like, hey, so glad to have seen you, thanks for a great show. Not very many people are doing that. So make sure that when you sign off, yours is the last comment right before you raid or right before you end, and then even go back into your show. You have to do it on the desktop. On the phone, it will only show you a a replay of it. But if you do it on the desktop, you can see the last little bit of chat and you can still add to the chat. The chat is still live even after you've ended the show. So use it as an opportunity to sign off, say thanks, and to engage whoever might be popping into your show to see what's coming up next or what did they miss. Okay, so all kinds of ways that you can engage the chat. I think it's super important that you create quality listings. I've been spending the last few months really building up my buy it now section and my marketplace. I have not gotten very many marketplace sales. A, because my prices are high, they're boutique prices, and B, because there's no shopping cart, which hopefully they'll eventually get to. So when you pay shipping on each individual item in the marketplace, especially in baby and kids, the shipping is too high. It's not my fault. That's part of Whatnot not allowing people to create a shopping cart. And C, because I think Whatnot is still something that is not on the tip of the tongue when it comes to shopping online. People think of eBay, Amazon, Poshmark, and some of the others. There's a little kind of like unspoken rumor that you can't say those words. You can't type them in the chat. Like if you try to type right now, Poshmark, eBay, Mercari, not sure if Amazon is allowed or not, it will mute those. And the reason that they're muted is because they don't want you to type um, you can get that cheaper on Amazon, or, oh, I have it cheaper in my Poshmark closet. So people will say the Bay. You don't need to, you can say out loud. Nobody is like muting like curse words on the Emmys. Like you can say the words eBay, Amazon, Poshmark. You're not going to get in trouble for using the words. Where you maybe would get flagged or reported is if you said something encouraging somebody to buy it separately. So same thing, Venmo, PayPal, those are not allowed either because they don't want you in the chat encouraging people to buy off platform somewhere else. However, if you've been successful on eBay and you want to say, oh yeah, no, I've been selling on eBay for 20 years and I mostly sell plush there. I really love selling plush on eBay, but I'm new to selling plush here on Whatnot. You absolutely can talk about your life experiences. You can talk about the fact that you have things cross-listed or other places. You just can't drive traffic somewhere else, take your buyers and say, oh, I'm about to do a Poshmark show. If you don't want to buy it here, the fees are less over there. Those are the kinds of things that you cannot do, should not do, will get warned about. Not just saying the word Poshmark, eBay, 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 eBay. You can say it as much as you want. No, you didn't miss most of it. I'm actually just mostly doing review. At one point I saw I only had 5 people in the room, so I tagged a few people and I was like, well, let me get a few more people in here and just kind of do review because I had some brand new folks. But we were reviewing some of these old ones, creating quality listings for the marketplace. And because now you've got that bin banner at the bottom. And here is lesson 12, creating some fun listings. Okay, now mixed reviews on this. So I don't think Whatnot's here. I only have 8 people in the room. So I don't think Whatnot's listening in. But I did see chatter about how some people got their Buy Me a Coffee listings removed. And I understand why. They don't want you saying buy me a coffee when somebody could just tip you the money. Buy me a coffee is the way that people would get tips or get cash before they introduced the tipping feature a few months back. So now, if you want to just give somebody some cash for coffee, you are supposed to tip them. However, not everybody can tip because you can't tip if you use PayPal or Apple Pay as the method of payment. So I kind of feel like buy me a coffee should still be an option. Yes, they pay shipping. Yes, they pay tax, but it is a way for them to pad their bundle with a thank you of sorts. If somebody only buys you a coffee, then you still have to mail them something. So that is one of the other things that too many people weren't then mailing anything. If it's part of a bundle, you can just write thank you on their bundle list. But if it's just separate, then you need to mail them a sticker or a thank you or a hi, hello, how do you do? So just know that if you had those listings and they got taken away, it's because Whatnot doesn't want them using them anymore. There have not been any repercussions yet, like no warnings, red flags yet. They might. I still have them. Mine didn't. It was bots that went through and pulled out all of the buy me a coffee type listings. I had buy me a pumpkin cream cheese muffin, and so maybe because it didn't have the word coffee, it didn't, the combination of buy and coffee, it didn't flag it. So buyer be or seller beware. Do as you choose. I still advise it because there are people that will buy it um, since they can only use Apple Pay or PayPal they, to buy you a coffee. They can't tip. I still encourage it for new sellers because some people will do it to help you get to your 1,000 sales, especially as you get pushed to the end. Like if you've got 970 sales and you need to make 30 more, yes, you want to sell 30 items, but if those last two are coffees that somebody buys for you just in the heat of the moment, wanting to help boost you to 1,000, I think that's okay as well. And also it's fun. Like I just changed mine to buy me a cranberry bliss bar because it communicates to my friends like, oh man, I'm sad that the pumpkin cream cheese muffins are gone. Now I am on to cranberry bliss season, and it's a point of talking. It's something that we can tell one another. So that lesson where it was creating fun listings, some of it has changed, and the buy me a coffee is at your own risk. But gift the chat. Those are fun listings that you should consider. Type the word gift into my buy now, and you'll see some of the gift the chats that I carry over from one show to the other. Click that bell. I will show you one of those again. This is probably one of my favorite lessons. Lesson 12, creating fun listings, and you can see by browsing through my store some of the fun listings and signposts that I use to help liven up my show a little bit. So it's not just item A, item B, item 2, item 3. This is super important, guys. Using the buy now. This was the last lesson that we did back in September, and it is even more relevant and popular or important now. The buy now is a separate section of your store. And in the last 3 or 4 days, I have gone into so many shows that have nada, zero, zilch in their buy now. What? Why? Why don't you have something in your buy now? If somebody isn't interested in the size extra large boys T-shirt that you're showing, they have a girl. And they're looking for girl size 2T. Even though it's a boys show, maybe you can have some girls item in the bin. Even though it's a kids show, maybe you can have some women's items in the bin. 99% of the buyers in a baby and kids show are going to be women. Maybe you could have some snacks or candy in the bin, or some crafts that you make, some custom Taylor Swift bracelets. Put something in the bin. It's gifting season. People are desperate for gifts. Something that is your personality, that is out of your personal closet or from your closed up beach boutique. Put stuff in the bin. Make it a nice quality listing. Ideally, it has a photo and it has a nice price, so that it helps them, reduce their shipping. I consistently try to have 100 items in the bin now. I don't usually put baby items in the bin of big kids shows because I feel like most moms that are buying for big kids don't also have babies. But give it some thought. Think about your live streams as a store, and that bin is the checkout aisle. You know how they always have those grabbies, those impulse buys. What are the things that can catch somebody's attention that they'll add to their cart, add to their bundle, that will keep them in your show, keep them on the app? Uh, it's definitely worth thinking about and investing some time in creating quality bin listings, because now there's that bin banner at the bottom. Let's talk about the bin banner. What do you guys think? Do you guys like it or not? So Story doesn't have the banner at the bottom. I'm trying to do, so if I take this away, do you guys see? I'm going to unpin this and I'm going to check and see. I'm pretty sure I have stuff in the bin today. Yeah, I have 100 products. Is the advent calendar at the bottom? Unfortunately, I don't have my husband's phone to check. Yeah, see, I don't know why some people's do and some people don't. Maybe because I haven't run an auction. So don't bid on this. Let's run this auction. 30 seconds, and then we'll see if maybe it pops up after this auction. It maybe only pops up after the first purchase. I don't know. There's nowhere for me to find out. I really hate when Whatnot rolls out a new feature without telling us about it, or without telling us some guidelines about best practice. So some of you have a banner at the bottom with the items in your bin. It is alphabetic. I assume it's numeric alphabetic. So if you put number 1 first, then that one. So for me, it's advent calendars. Let's try again. Let me know if you ever see anything pop up at the bottom. It could be that it's not until you've made your first sale. I'm not sure. Since this is a talking show and I haven't made a sale, I feel like it's in between sales. It pops up. So until I can figure out how it pops up. And so this is what I've seen. I've seen it pop up at the bottom of shows that have active auctions going in between auctions. If you don't have something pinned at the bottom of your screen, then the banner that is your bin will appear and it is scrollable. So you can scroll through the person's bin without having to click on the little storefront and then click on the Buy Now tab and scroll through that way. It is alphabetical. And so if you aren't actively deleting or changing, I mean, the only way to change what is viewed, I'm not going to say pinned, the first 3 items will be the first 3 alphabetical items or the first 3 numbered items. If you want people to see something different because it's a nice long show, you're going to have to go into your bin and delete the first 3 items. That's kind of the best practice that I'm going with. But Stormy, are you on Android or iOS? I have seen it on iOS. I saw it in Rusty's show first. Interesting. Very interesting that you haven't seen. It could be that you haven't seen it because you haven't been to a show that has an active bin. So let me see if I can find one. Trying to find. This is not easy. Somebody that I know has stuff in their bin. And there's nobody that I know for sure. It'd be nice if there was a way to see. Nope. See. So the only way you know is when you click on shows and then oops. Hopefully that didn't mess with my view because that was mine. If the little dot down in the bottom, okay, so I'm just showing you like this little dot down here. If it only has 1, 2, 3, or 4, that usually means they don't have anything in their bin. If it has 20 or more, okay, good. So let's see. I'm going to watch this one for a little while because she does have stuff in her bin. And if it pops up in between, then I'll let you know. Okay, that's a separate phone that I have. Okay, last 2 shows and no bin. So this one, she does have stuff in her bin. This is Transparent Thrift. She's currently running an item right now. And so it's 10 seconds sudden death. In 10 seconds here, we can watch it together. Let's watch it together and see. Ooh, maybe it's gone away. Yeah, it looks like it's gone away. See, trying not to curse. Because they rolled that feature out and now maybe it's only after a sale. So let's see. I've got to see if she makes her next sale. Has anybody seen the bin banner today? Right. If you pin something from the bin, it gets rid of it. That is true. This seller just ran an auction item. It didn't sell. And so then it said awaiting next item. All right. So Wanda just won. Let's see. Yeah, see, hers is just awaiting next item, even though she has items in her bin. So in theory, these items should be appearing as a banner. I don't know why they aren't. and I don't know where to ask because the Discord just sometimes acts like I'm a squeaky wheel when I ask, what is this? Why does it happen? Could we please have a way of knowing about new features? Has anybody seen it today? No, she doesn't have anything pinned, because once you run an item, actually, I take it back. You're right. She's running a multi-quantity listing. You're right. She has the multi-quantity listing pinned. All right, let's keep looking then. See, we got to talk these things through, because follow and enter, those are cards. I've just scrolled through 10 shows and I don't see it on any of these yet. So we're going to have to play with it a little bit more, guys. But I think you're right. I think the reason that we didn't see it in her show is because she has pinned the multi-quantity listing. What do I mean when I say multi-quantity listing? That's the pallet pulls, or the bin pulls, or the box pulls, and use, or the mugs. Let's say I've got 70 mugs behind me and my listing says mugs, there's 70. That's multiple quantity. And when you have a multiple quantity listing, you can pin it and say, this is what I'm selling. I'm selling these 70 mugs. I'm selling these pallet pulls. It's new with tags, Target items, or it's, for me, I'll do baby boy separates. I'm pulling all. And if you pin it, then yeah, the banner doesn't pop up. I like the banner. I like that it, because I've spent so much time on creating listings to put in my bin. I like the banner, but I don't like that I can't decide the view. Like I would want to pin like a couple of my more expensive items. I don't want to always have my advent calendars, because they start with the letter A, be the first and only thing that people see, and I don't want to then delete them um mid show so that something new appears at the bottom, because I want people to still be able to buy them. And so the fact that it's alpha, I started to go in and number things, and I'm like, no, I don't want to number all of my items, because I put different things in different shows. So I have not figured out best practice for it yet. I have some ideas, and I don't know why it's not appearing in mine. Like right now, you guys still don't see it. My best guess is that you have to sell something first. It appears in between auctions only if you don't have something pinned. And I am happy to be proven wrong if somebody else figures that out. So I'll play with it more and I will report back next Tuesday, and some of you can as well. Okay, so coins. There you go. That's a good suggestion. Let me see. I don't usually follow the coins shows. Don't know anything about coins. Other than I don't have enough in my pocket. Let's see, what's coins? I also hate that these are not alphabetical. Why is trading cards always at the top? Sports cards, toys and hobbies, comics. They make the most money. All right. So auction ended. So this one is saying auction ended. And because it's miscellaneous US and foreign singles, yeah, number 7, it's a multi-quantity listing, not seeing the bin in between. This one is 1330, auction ended, awaiting next item. So I don't know why it didn't appear in this one. I'm not seeing. Has anybody seen the banner this morning? Do we know if it still exists or if it was taken away? And before I continue to talk about it too much, is it like stories, something they introduced and they took away? Has anybody seen the banner at the bottom today in any of the other shows or late last night? Okay. They did a new update this morning. So right now I'm going to assume the banner's no longer there. So we'll move on from that. Okay. We'll come back and discuss it later. Have to swipe Bella Girl. That's interesting. Go to AZ Coins. Okay. AZ Coins. AZ Coins. It really shouldn't be this hard for me to find somebody that has a banner. They're not live right now. AZ Coins is not live. I was looking for somebody that's live that has the banner showing up in between their auctions, and I haven't seen it yet. So I will do some screen recordings. I will do some research as I'm active on the app. I haven't seen it today. So let's see if anybody would like to talk a little bit about, this is the lesson that I had been waiting to talk about, and I haven't in a while, raids and raid trains, best practices. Are you ending every show with a raid? I almost always do. And I love that one of the new features that they added was to give you a summary, a synopsis of the show when you end your show. And at first, you didn't get that if you rated. Now, if you rate, I think it still pops up, but I'm not positive. So, rating at the end of the show, here's why you want to do that. It builds community and it is free marketing. So, whether you have 3 or 30 people in your show, when you end it, if you raid, that means you're taking all of your buyers over to somebody else's show. It can be in the same category, it can be in a completely different category. Just think, oh, where would my buyers like to go? Or ask the chat, hey, where do you guys want to go? Sometimes they'll give you a suggestion. Now they have changed it to where when you raid, they give you suggestions that aren't just like random at the bottom, but rather they are targeted. And they will say, these are the people that you've rated most recently, if you want to go back there again, or these are ones that you might like. So you are now given suggestions about who to raid, which is great. And when you do raid somebody else's show, you usually get a free shout out. Usually the host, it just depends. You don't raid the big sellers that have 200 or 300 people in their room and expect to get a shout out. They might just say, "Oh, thank you for the raid," and not even mention you because they're busy selling. But smaller shows, especially if there's only a couple people in the room, those people get super excited. And then they'll give you, a free shout out and say, "Oh, thank you, Tara Icasas. Everybody go follow Tara. She has great baby and kids shows." So it is free marketing. And sometimes you'll get a few more followers just by rating somebody else's. A lot of times, the person that's rated will also do a giveaway. So you can enter that giveaway as a seller. Your buyers will be thankful that you've entered, that you've rated somebody else, and then they have the opportunity. Everybody loves giveaways. It is, again, standard or best practice to have a raid giveaway ready. So, for example, if I were rated right now, usually I actually have it listed in the giveaways. So, if you guys go over and click on the giveaways tab right now, you'll see I don't have one, but watch. I have them already ready to go, and I can very easily add them to the shows. So if somebody raids us, I now have a raid giveaway ready, meaning that the listing is already there. And you can grab something and say, "Yay, I just got rated. Thank you, Sierra, for rating me. I'm so happy that you guys are here. Let me go ahead and get a giveaway pinned." And then you start that giveaway. It is common practice. You do not have to. There's no rules for it or against it, but it is a courtesy. It is welcome and encouraged that if you get rated, you start a giveaway. I specifically now call them raid giveaways, and I don't do those giveaways unless I get rated. And sometimes I do, and sometimes I don't. But I've gotten caught off guard a couple times where a really big seller rated me, and suddenly I had 50 people in the room, and I was like, "Oh, goodness, I wasn't prepared for this." Be prepared for it. You may never ever get a raid of 50 people. You may get it 2 days in a row. If you get a raid from somebody that's bringing 50 people to your room, don't you want to have a giveaway ready so you can capture those 50 followers? That's the easiest and best way to capture followers, is to do a giveaway. They're expensive. They basically cost you like $10 every time because it's $4 worth of shipping, and then any quality item that you offer is going to be $3 or $4 plus tax. Like, round it up, it's $10. It is not cheap to do giveaways. But if you want to be successful on this platform and you want to build a following, raids and giveaways is the best way to do that. Encouraging other people to raid you by being active on the platform, to be well known, to be live, to have shows planned, and then doing a giveaway when you are rated. Highly suggest it. Do as you will. And if anybody has any other opinions that they'd like to share about raids, go ahead and giveaways, go ahead and share them in the chat. The other thing I was going to mention, and just briefly and quickly, because my opinion of them changes from day to day and hour to hour. Raid trains. Raid trains, I feel, are a little overdone right now. And I say that only because I feel like our buyers are a little bit over them. They're like, many of our buyers want to sit through an hour long show with lots of merchandise at really good deals. That's what the buyer wants. Like, yes, of course they want to win a giveaway, but they don't want to just sit through an entire day of giveaway shows and never win anything. That's not a fun day on the app. In the beginning, when there weren't very many raid trains, it was novel, it was new, it was fun, it was exciting. Now every category every day has a raid train, and again, it's okay. I'm just saying, don't invest too much enthusiasm in them, because I see so many new sellers thinking or expecting that they're going to make a lot of sales on their day or in their giveaway, their raid train show. And my raid train shows have been my least successful shows, usually because they're short, often because many of the buyers that come into my show have already been buying in the first 10 shows that they've been in. And so it is a commercial of sorts. It's a really great way to gain followers and to introduce yourself. So if you can be funny, quirky, silly, entertaining, if you can offer those two really great giveaways, if you have mods that can tag people and help you fill the room, if you go if you go after somebody that's super popular, raid trains can be awesome. A raid show can be really great. And you can all of a sudden get 20, 30, 50 followers, but that doesn't always happen. So I just don't want people to get excited about and then disappointed because their raid train show is not successful, because 9 out of 10 raid train shows are not successful in terms of how much you sell, because it's a short amount of time and it's buyers that have already been buying. They are successful at helping you gain followers, depending on how well the raid train has been organized, marketed, and inclusive of already successful sellers. So those are my current thoughts. Runs in the family. So if you Whatnot as a platform does not currently support e-gifts as or PDFs or anything digital as something that you can purchase or win. So if you prefer to email the gift certificate instead of mailing it, gift card, two things. One, you have to tell them to send their email to you, because you don't have access to that unless they message you their email address. And two, you have to have that order either marked as shipped or canceled. And so in order for it to be marked as shipped, you have to send them something, either the actual gift card, which I just end up doing, or a thank you or a sticker, or you have to ask them to cancel the order, which is what I see a lot of people do. At one point, I thought I saw, and maybe they didn't pursue this or they changed their mind, that if you had too many cancellations, that there were going to be repercussions. What I now know that to be is if I cancel too many, if the buyer cancels it, I don't think it affects your metrics at all. So you would have to ask the buyer to then also cancel the giveaway order, which they, like I said, many people do it. I'm not as comfortable with it. I find that it's more trouble than the $4 shipping. I would rather just pay the $4 shipping. Just pay the $4 shipping, put the gift card in an envelope and mail it, and have it be a part of my my shipping metrics. Like, this got shipped on time, it's received, and I see it. Then go through the hassle of getting a message that has their email, sending an email, buying it online. That to me isn't more efficient or worth the $4. For other people it is. Okay, so those are your choices. Does that Stormy? Exactly. And Ashley agree. It's just easier to ship it. And eventually, I'm going to make a note again to keep asking. Go into the Discord and ask Whatnot to please update it so that we can offer. It's a digital app. It shouldn't be that difficult for us to offer gift cards and or Whatnot credit. Like I want to buy $5 worth of credit on Whatnot and give that away. I would give that away right now to you guys if that was an option. I would do it over and over and over again versus going to Starbucks, buying $5 there, running the auction here and paying $4 to give it to you. I'd rather buy a $9 credit and give you the $9. But Whatnot has not listened to me and made that available. So I'm going to ask again. There's a need for digital giveaways and opportunity to purchase Whatnot credit to gift or give away. It's the gifting season. I want to give my mom $20 to spend on Whatnot. I want to give my best friend and the teachers $20 to spend on Whatnot, but I want it fruit flies. It's California, so we deal with fruit flies. So hopefully, maybe eventually that's in the works. Not sure. I have pre-bids on my list. I'll add it. I have the list in more than one places, but yes, we would like to see highlighted or as a separate tab. And then items of interest, yes, same, without having to scroll. The interest bells. Yep. I'm glad that the interest bells is something that we can at least see now. And here's a tip. Did you realize that you can clone those and carry them over into your next show, and the bells, the interests carry with? So I think that's pretty cool. All right. Clicking, clicking, clicking. Right? Isn't that? I love that. All right. I'm just making sure I didn't miss any comments. I'm going back over to lessons. So does anybody have any more questions about raids and raid trains? If you are invited to be a part of a raid train and you want to be successful, think of it as a commercial. Don't think of it as a show where you're going to sell lots of merchandise. Definitely have 20 items in your bin if you can. And then know that you're going to carry those items over into future shows. So it's worth creating a good bin full of items. Have 20 items behind you on a rack or on a shelf that you're ready to sell, because you never know. You might sell 20 items. 20 is good. I don't think I've probably done, I don't know, a dozen raid shows. I haven't actually done as many as most people. Like my friend Ashley, she's probably done 30. How many raid shows do you think you've done, Ashley? Because you were doing all the Saturday ones when I wasn't doing Saturdays. So I would say Ashley's probably done 30 or 40 raid shows. So she can give you a good seller's perspective. My best advice is have 20 items in your bin, have 20 items ready to sell, have 2 really good giveaways, have a super positive and perky personality and something fun and different for them to see. Go outside. I went to the pool. I went to downtown LA. I did one where I talked really fast and I caught people's attention. I called it Speed Date with a Book, and I just did 5-second auctions. If you do something new and different and really showcase your personality, you can gain 20, if you're lucky, 40 followers, but that's it. That's all that a raid train show is going to do for you, no matter whether it's 20 minutes or 45 minutes. That's consistent. Be caffeinated, exactly. Be ready, be fully charged on your phone, and just fingers crossed for the best. But then plan other shows. The biggest mistake, I've said this earlier and I'll say it again. The biggest mistake people make with raid trains is that they don't have another show scheduled. You've got 30 people in your room and you're trying to sell them things that they may or may not be interested in because they just came from jewelry or they just came from a boys show, but you're selling girls stuff and they don't have girls. have another show scheduled for them to bookmark. If you've got all these people in your room, you want to tell them, "Hey guys, I've got two really great shows coming up this weekend. Please go and bookmark them." If those shows aren't there, then they can't bookmark. Do the shows. Put them on the calendar. Have them ready to bookmark. I cannot say that enough times. Let me drink some cold coffee since Leo's not here to warm it up for me. Next time I go thrifting, maybe I need to get a little microwave for down here. Food for thought. I hate cold coffee. I like iced coffee. I just don't like hot coffee that's gotten cold. I wish if people like your style or the things you have, they'd tell you what they need. Like, I know. So, Stormy, you did miss us talking about the idea of creating a list on your computer, a spreadsheet of sorts of people's requests, either the ones that people tell you. So you can pause your show and say, okay, guys, I'm going to maybe during a giveaway or whatever, or just a little commercial interruption. Before I continue with the next items, and they're really good items, I'm going to do just a quick in search of. So I need everybody to put in the chat right now, and I'm going to take a screenshot of the chat, or my mod and I are going to write it down as fast as we can. Tell me, even if you've already told me 20 times before, what are you looking for? What size, what gender? If I don't have it today, I am going to tag you in my next show and actively encourage, if in contrast to, and I'll say what that is, in contrast to having an entire show where you just ask people to tell you what they're looking for. I really don't like going into a show and having somebody say, "Hey, welcome in. Go ahead and just drop in the chat what sizes you're looking for. We're running by request. Hi, welcome in. What sizes are you looking for? Hi, thanks for joining. If you'll just go ahead and take a look at the bin and then drop your size requests in the chat." If you just put it on your buyers to constantly tell you what they're looking for, that's a boring show. I'm sorry, I'm just going to say it. And I see it over and over and over again. People with only 2 or 3 people in the room, because all they're doing is asking their buyers, "What are you looking for? What can I sell you? Tell me what you want," instead of saying, "This is what I have. This is what I have. Oh, make sure you also check the bin. There's more sizes there. Here's the next item that I have." And just keep running items so that they get an idea of your sizes, your style, your prices. Run things, run things. Imagine if somebody walked into my boutique and it's empty. Everything is in the back room. It's got, a block table. It's got the checkout counter. It's got 3 or 4 items that are hanging that somebody else had taken a look at. And the person walks in and I say to them, "Hi, welcome to my shop. Go ahead and tell me what you're looking for." And then I'll run to the back and I'll grab it. That's not a shopping experience. People want to see what you have. They want to see you holding it. They want to see it, lined up in your bin. They want to see it on a rack behind you. They have to see with their eyes what it is that you're selling. And if all you do is sit there and say, "Hi, tell me what sizes you're looking for. Hi, go ahead and drop your sizes in the chat." It just, I don't see it being very successful. It can be. You can. Now, don't get me wrong. You might get lucky, and you might get that mom that pops in and says, I saw in your title that you have size 2 baby girl, and she went through a growth spurt. So, show me everything you have in size 2." You will sometimes get that. I just don't think it's an effective business model to have all of your shows be, "Tell me what you want, what you really, really want." Like, you got to show them what you got, what you really, really got. Okay. That's my advice. Take it or leave it. You don't have to agree with me, but that's my advice. Exactly. So, Stormy, a lot of people do it, and that's why in this show I give my opinions of what I think is successful. If you want to do the slow drip selling that I do. So I was in Favoli Style show this morning, and man, she is a machine. Grace is a machine. She's the short Filipino woman that always has, incredible makeup and a fast talking style, and she just always has new with tags merchandise from her warehouse, and it's usually like Ralph Lauren and a lot of women's items, a lot of home items. And today she had a kids show, and she is just running one item after the next, and she's getting great prices for them. Definitely, if you haven't already watched one of Favoli Styles kids shows, watch it, because she is a machine. I mean, she just cranks it out. I saw that Girls Gone Thrifting had a show. Like, I was late to this show because I was watching a little bit of hers. She's another one of my favorites to watch. She mostly does women's, but she is a mom, so she will occasionally do a kids show. And she had like 80 people in her room. I was super jealous. Like, she has built a following. She's got a huge following on Instagram. She also does Instagram shows, I think. And again, hard working, always on, lots of great stuff for sale. Another great person to watch. I'm the slow drip kind of person. Like, usually when I go live, I will sell things. I end up selling them for less than what I want because I'm motivated by the chat. I see friends. I'm like, I'll sell it to this person for $5 when I really would like to and should be getting 15 or 18 or 20 for my new tags items. But I don't mind doing it because I think that it's a realistic model for busy moms. And that's who my audience is, and that's who this show is for. These teaching shows, I'm not here to teach you how to be like Grace and have a warehouse. And she's got a virtual assistant. And again, Girls Gone Thrifting, she's a little bit younger. She's a little bit hipper. She's active on Instagram and other socials that I'm not. So most of my advice is for the average mom, the one that is busy with life, either her own life or her kiddos life, going through a divorce or has a new baby, or just feels torn in many different directions, but really likes kids clothes and wants to sell them on Whatnot. That's who my advice is for. And it helps other people too, but that's the perspective for those of you that are listening on YouTube, listening to the replay. That's the point of view that I speak from. The mom bun moms, exactly. Or I told you I was called a sweatshirt mama once, as if that was an insult. And I was like, yeah, I like sweatshirts and jeans. And I like to put my hair in a bun, and I like to warm my coffee. Quantity listing. That means you write something like all of these items that are new with tags, all of these things from Macy's, all of these things from Target. I do boys and girls separates, meaning that you're not listing the individual items with pictures and Old Navy top, Ralph Lauren shorts, baby girl romper. So there's the preloaded auction, or there's the pallet pull auction, categories, multi-quantity listings. I tend to do multi-quantity listings, but mine aren't pallet pulls, mine are bin pulls, meaning that I've categorized the stuff a little bit already, but I know that all my stuff is new with tags. And so I feel comfortable starting them all at $5. Or Basil usually starts at $3 because they know their price point. They've purchased they've purchased the merchandise as part of a pallet, and so they know their price per item and what they have to start at in order to make it. So you said you don't understand how they run things quickly, meaning how they've gotten to that point to be able to run things quickly and still have accurate shipping. Okay, now I think I get it. So for me, I'm able to do that because I write the number on the tag. It took me a while to figure that out. And I did not have accurate shipping in the beginning. I had a lot of mistakes, but my buyers were very forgiving, and I was very apologetic, and I learned from my mistakes. So what I always have now is a pencil handy. I usually have 2 or 3. And because everything that I have is new with tags, like this is a tag from one of the masks that I sold, and I gave it to Leo to wear for Halloween. So I still have this tag, just it's left over from Halloween sitting here. But if I sell item number 3 out of 100, then I write number 3. And when they get their sold listing on their packing slip, it'll say that it was new with tags, boys separate number 1, new with tags boys separate number 3, and new with tags boys separate 26. So then all I have to do is look for numbers 1, 3, and 26. I usually have my girls help me, and they're like, Mom, is that a 3 or an 8? And we pull all of the items that have those numbers and line them up on the packing slips. Basil does it the same way, but instead of writing numbers on the tag, they use these little rolls of numbers. Okay, and you take off the if it's new with tags, I really prefer this way because you can just write on the tag. If it's not new with tags, or if you don't feel like writing on the tags or writing on the bags, then you use stickers, and then you're just looking for the numbers. I hope I answered your question. Looking at it one more time and still have accurate shipping. Yeah, that's how you have accurate shipping. It's just numbered. And yes, a lot do sometimes rely on video receipts. So my friend Ashley, she she was doing 5 second auctions. Woo! She does her dollar clear out shows. She hasn't done one in a little while because she was traveling, but Too Cute Boutique started doing I think they were on Mondays, dollar start 5 second auctions. Ooh, that's fast. But she managed to sell over 100 items in less than 2 hours. With and my best shows when I'm focused and determined and have my merchandise somewhat ready are 100 items in 2 hours, 50 items an hour. She did better than that. I was like, oh, 5 seconds. Dang, that's fast. And she was relying a little bit on video receipts too. So I don't suggest that though, because I've had issues with video receipts sometimes not working. Oh yeah, same thing with the weights. Exactly. Ashley's reminding me that, when I hold something, I know whether it weighs more than a pound or not. And very rarely does anything that I sell weigh more than a pound. It's only when it's boys' jeans that are sizes 8 and above, boys' long sleeve flannels that are size 10 and above. Like, even those don't weigh a full pound. And so, as long as you're within an ounce or two, there's a little bit of forgiveness there when you go to ship. And rarely, I'm not as good at with books. I have 4. I'm behind on shipping my books because I underestimated the weights on those. So but with kids, I just know it now, and you get to a point where you do. All right, let me see if I missed any other comments. So Carly, did that explain it for you? I see TY, thank you. I just want to make sure if there was another question that you had about that, I'm happy to explain a little bit more about how we do that. But mostly if you just continue to watch and don't be afraid to ask that question too. I had somebody ask me in my show, how are you keeping track of what you've sold? And I said, pencil. I just write the number down on the tag. But that only works if you're selling all new with tags merchandise. Other people use the numbers that hook on the hangers, and then they just put it back on the rack because it's got the number. Where you can get off is if something doesn't sell and you go to sell the next one, and you haven't changed your number. So I'm not ready to explain that right now because it's a little bit harder to explain. But all right. Let's brainstorm, and I will cut and paste what I have. What are some of the things that you need for every show, no matter whether it's boys, girls, babies, garage, jewelry, Pokemon cards? What are some of the things that you need to have ready to go, prepared ahead of time with you for every show? You need a phone. You need a streaming device. Okay, what else? Come on, let's brainstorm. What are some of the things you need? Because I have created, and now I know what I can do. I'm going to create a PDF of this. Okay, I'm going to share with you guys my every show list. It's a note. I'm typing, guys. A charger, a lightning cable. Yep. An appealing space. Thank you. Yes, a few too many people. So I have been selling from my storage unit, which is hard for me to make appealing. But I am more engaged if, like, Girls Gone Thrifting always has a cute background. She's got this real boho style. She's switched it to where she's got the TV now. But I think that's good too if you switch it up. A lot of times I'm out here streaming on my porch and people really love, like, seeing the trees, hearing the birds. So an appealing background can make a big difference. You can still be successful selling out of your garage or selling out of your basement or literally selling out of your closet, but the more appealing it is, the better. So here is my list. Okay. Here is my list. And I think, can you, because I'm streaming, I can't click on it. Can you guys click on the word show, please, and see if it pops up? Somebody do it for me. Bella, will you click on the word show and see if the PDF, if the list pops up for you? It does. Good. Okay, so take a screenshot of it if you want. I have it here and I can read through it. Feel free to cut, paste, or create your own. But I started to create an every show list because I would go live and all the way up until the minute, because you're like, I'm going to be late. People are expecting me. Well, you can be late. Yeah, most people really don't mind if you're 5 minutes late or 10 minutes late. It's not like a Broadway show that you've paid tickets for where people expect it to start on time. Give yourself some grace if you're running a little bit late. My motto is better to be late and prepared than go live and not have what you need. Okay. So I like to always have a welcome in, or what I call a follows giveaway. Sometimes I even call it like Starbucks for the follows, because I'm being very transparent. This is a giveaway for you guys to follow me. That's how I'm going to build my following. So that's the first thing that I always make sure I have is at least one giveaway. It can be at the start, at the middle, at the end, however you want to do it. I usually do it at the beginning, and most of us do. A show note. I was really bad for a long time after show notes were introduced about not putting anything in the show note. Now I actually have show notes that are cut and paste, that I can cut and paste for each of my different types of shows, because people do sometimes look at them before the show, during the show, whatever you want to put in there, even if it's just welcome in. My name is Tara. It doesn't have to be long, but take a look at other people's and get ideas about what kind of show note, that post-it note in the corner that you want to do. A raid giveaway. We talked about that. Bookmark an auction. We talked about that as well. That's my signpost as a reminder to tell everybody to please bookmark my next show. And I usually pin that before the show starts. Bin drop or browse the bin. Let me show you what that looks like. Those are signposts. Here's one. So I have one in my bin that says browse the bin. This is my reminder to tell people, like, take a look at the bin. And so I'll pin it throughout the show. Or during my regular shows, I do what's called a bin drop, and I drop one item in my bin that's been there for a long time down to $1. And it just incentivizes, it's like a scavenger hunt. It incentivizes people to head down and scroll through the bin. And then it gets them discounted shipping. Usually only my buyers in the know to look for it, and they'll grab it ahead of time. You can do a bin drop before your show, during your show. You don't have to do them at all. I saw people at Easter time put a little Easter egg emoji next to some of their listings to say, like, oh, I've got a few Easter eggs in the bin, meaning things that are a lower price point than they would normally be. Maybe, I don't know if there's a stocking emoji, or you could use the Christmas tree emoji, and you could say, I put a few new presents in the bin, and it's something that incentivizes people to go and look. It doesn't have to be $1. It can be $5, but you can say, you guys, I put some awesome stuff in the bin for gifting. Search by tree emoji. Actively engaging, incentivizing people to browse your bin. Buy me a coffee or show me some support. I put it in my bin all the time. I've switched it to buy me a cranberry bliss bar. And if you click on the word cranberry, an image pops up. I actually took an image from the Starbucks website. I like to put those in my show. We talked about why you may or may not want to. I usually try to have 100 items in the bin. Let me go back to pinning this one. That every... Oops. There it is. If you want to click on it again and read along with me. I also have a signpost that says wrap up your bundle. Let me show you what that one looks like. So here's one. I do this especially at the end of my snack shows. I start taking offers. People can, if you've made your items offerable, that is something that you do in the Seller Hub, or that you can do on your live streams list, and you can click the option that says make all items in your bin offerable. Do we want to see that? Let me show you. So here where it says enable private mode, right next to it is mark all buy it now listings as offerable. If you click on that, then that means that everything that is in your bin is now able to be discounted with an offer. You don't have to accept those offers, but you might want to if you've had a slow show or if you're sitting on stuff that takes a while. Because I have 100 items, it's taking a while to process. Exactly. You say it throughout your show. Please make an offer if you see anything in the bin. Ideally, people buy stuff in the bin straight out of the gate as it's priced. And that's why I wait to take offers at the end. Because if somebody buys it before I accept offers, then I get the regular price for it. Looks like it's still processing. That's okay. I'm going to click stop sharing the screen so that I can go back over here. So this is one that is a signpost about accepting offers or reminding people to do offers. But I also have I have one over here. So here, maybe I am gonna share again. Offerability change. Yeah, because I'm trying to do too many things at once. All right, so I'm going over here to my listings. We haven't looked at this in a while. Okay. So unfortunately, it won't let me show you the entire screen, but you can see the bulk of it. And I'm going to type in the word wrap, and I'm going to show you the different ones that I have. These are all of the listings that I have that have the word wrap in them. So here is one. It says wrap up your bundle with an EBU B is for birthday card. That's what I put in a lot of like regular kids shows. Here is when I did Trader Joe's stuff. I had those little mini tote bags. Wrap up your bundle with a Trader Joe's mini grocery tote. It's a way of, again, encouraging those impulse buys. You can call them whatever you want. I call them wrap up your bundles. For my Mexican snack shows, I have these tiny little vasitos of candy, and they're little, so I can charge just $1 for them. And I say, oh, toss another one of these in. Wrap up your bundle with one of these vasitos. And I pay like 25 cents for them, and I charge $1, so I end up making 25 cents. But if 10 people do it, then it adds up. It's just a little extra, and ideally they buy more than one thing. For wrap up your bundle with slaps, a lot of them are candy because those are the smaller items. And then this one was one that I did. A lot of people would add hair ties. My mom bun friends would add hair ties to their bundle. So wrap up your bundle with a set of hair ties, something that you can comfortably sell for $1 or $2. Wrap up your bundle with a lovey, and it's a $5 lovey. But they've already got a really great bundle going. They've got free shipping. So yeah, now I will pay $5 for that lovey because that's a great gift. So think of some things that you can put in your bin to wrap up their bundles. Or don't forget gifts. Call it something else. Give it an elephant. Rusty, since you love animals, maybe yours are elephants. And you put a little elephant emoji and you call them don't forget. I like to call them wrap because the W appears at the bottom of an alphabetical list. So if you can think of something that starts with TUVWXYZ, it appears at the bottom. That's why I like wrap it up. You can use that. I've been talking too much. Anybody else got ibuprofen sitting on their desktop? All right, I am going to wrap up the show and maybe get ready for another show. But I want to go through the rest of this every show list because it also reminds me of what I need to do. Checking the chat real quick to see if I missed any really good comments. Griswold, thank you for joining. Day's been good. I've been talking for almost 2 hours now, but honestly, it motivates me. It gets me thinking about things that I need to do about my best practices. And so we were going through my every show list. Let me put it back where it was so that anybody that's just popping in, I'm going to pin it to the bottom, click on the word every, and my every show list will pop up. These are the things that I try to do every show to have a successful show. We were less than halfway through. Wrap up your bundle is where we were. Gift the chat is another fun listing to put in your bin, and they should be small, lightweight, easy to mail, low shipping cost, dollar or $2 items. I've done gift the chat a headband, gift the chat some silly putty, gift the chat some Mexican candy, gift the chat a used children's DVD, whatever you want to put there. If you don't put things that are small and lower priced, then people won't make the effort to gift the chat. Gift the chat is a feature. When you go into the bin and you go to buy something, there's a few options. There is offer, offer a disc, offer and ask for a discount, buy now, and then once you click, the buy now, it'll, ask you if you want to gift it or buy it for yourself. And then if you choose to gift it, you can do two things. If you gift it, you can either gift it to the chat, which means everybody that's in the show at that time is part of a quick lottery, almost like a giveaway. It spins a wheel on the back end and chooses randomly. Or you can choose to gift it to a user. So for example, Rusty is a good friend and a great buyer. An otter is her profile picture. She loves animals. If I'm in a show and I see somebody has otter salt and pepper shakers, they're only $2, and I'm like, oh my gosh, Rusty would love these. I want to send these as a thank you to her. I can put her name, her username, Rusty, in the gift to, and even though she's not even in the show and has no idea that I'm doing it, I can send that gift to her. We need to do more of that, guys. We need to do more. Like, send me some gifts. I'm going to say it right now. If you see something super cute that I might like, send it to me as a gift. I know that a lot of us don't have extra money for gifting, but just keep it in mind for the rest of November and December. If you see something and somebody's buy it now that you think another whatnot user would like, and you have an extra $5 or $10 in your pocket, I know that most of us don't. I don't right now. Consider gifting that to the whatnot user, because then a label will pop up and it will randomly go to that person. They will also get an email that says this has been gifted to you, and they'll be like, what? Wow, that's cool. The gift to chat feature is also fun. Taking it back to that list and why I have it on that list. Nobody is going to gift anything out of your bin if you have an empty bin or everything in the bin is too expensive to gift. So keep gifts in mind for your bin. Wrap up your bundle, gift the chat. Discounts in TikTok is something that I did once or twice. I have a TikTok channel. I have next to nobody over there, but to incentivize people to go over to TikTok to follow me there, I have put my discount coupon codes on TikTok. So that's my reminder. That's why it's tabbed over, because I don't do it often enough for it to be every show. Making sure you have a few moderators chosen, putting something in the pre-chat. So before the show starts, 2 weeks ahead of time, an hour ahead of time at your choice, write something in the chat that just says, hi, welcome in. Show starting soon, super excited, or still loading, check back often. Put something in your chat. If it's blank, there's nothing for them to read. But if somebody pops into your show, think of it as your window dressing. Think of it as the signage on your door, your store hours, or whatever. When somebody is showing an interest in your show, if they pop into your show ahead of time, then have something in the chat that says who you are, what you're selling, what you're looking forward to. Pin items as the show counts down. So that's what I've been doing all show long, pinning things like bookmark shows, browse the bin, wrap up your bundle. That's my reminder. Like, don't forget to pin these things. You've put them there, now pin them. Add a midnight for the bookmark show. This is ideal. So, and it's something that I've started to do. If I do my show at 2:00 today, and I may or may not be able to do it, and I've got all my boys buyers there, and I know that I've got more boys merchandise. Ideally, you want all those people to bookmark your next boys show, right? Create a show that says my next boys show. Put it at midnight for the same day, then when they go to bookmark, it's right there and they'll bookmark it, but put TBD or will be moved so that they know that you're just capturing their bookmarks really quick. And after, towards the end of the day before you go to bed, you're going to figure out where to put it on your calendar. But that's what that means. I've started to do that where I add a show to capture the bookmarks of the people that are in the show right then and there. But I don't put it like 20 shows down. I put it right then and there saying, okay, if you missed my show, bookmark this one. Or if you want more of the same, bookmark this one. That's what add a midnight show means. Switch my Wi-Fi. I have so much trouble with Wi-Fi. Make sure you're on the strongest Wi-Fi. You've seen this happen to so many sellers where they're either on cellular or they're on the wrong Wi-Fi and it's glitchy. Make sure you're on the right Wi-Fi when you set up your camera. I like to have, obviously, I need my phone. I also like to have my iPad nearby because then I'm not punching my finger towards my viewing audience. Instead, I'm scrolling through an iPad. If you have an extra device, that's handy. Stand. Right now, I'm just using, let me show you what I'm using. This is my daughter's. It's one of those little phone stands. This is what I'm using right now since it's sitting on my desktop. It's not fancy at all, but I have a fancy stand and I have a couple ring lights. So having something that keeps your phone upright is helpful. So I just invested in that one. It's really big and the base kind of gets in the way. So I don't use that one as often as I probably should. Stand, computer. If you can also have a laptop or a desktop nearby, super helpful because there are some things that you can do on the laptop or desktop that you can't do on the iPhone or the iPad. And then maybe playing music. Music, I don't want to talk about it too much, and for the most part, lots of people enjoy music in their show. And then a ring light if you can afford one, or if you have bad lighting. You don't have to have a ring light, but if you do have one, it helps. Pencil to mark. Numbers, either number stickers or number hanging tags, markers in case you need to mark something, and bags. For me, I need bags when I'm doing my snacks because people start a bundle and I'm holding the snack and I drop it down into bags. For my clothing show, I just need a bin that I can drop all of my solds into. Have your giveaways ready in front of you and listed. Have your auction inventory organized and scroll through that auction inventory to make sure that you also have it lined up and ready to go in that same order. Have your bin items organized in a way that you can talk about them. Review interesteds. Oh, that's the bells. So you want to encourage people to click the bells of things that they might be interested in. So ahead of the show or during the show, you should review and see how many interesteds you have and run those. Tag your friends in. We talked about my tag lists that I have. I don't always remember which shows I have when, so I do ideally have a little post-it note of the shows that are coming up so that I don't misspeak and say, oh, Tuesday at 2 I'm doing snacks, when really Tuesday at 2 I'm doing shoes. And then post chat after the show. I mean, obviously you got to do all the shipping and all of that stuff, but after the show, I like to add a little note in the chat for anybody that's going back in. There's other there's other sellers that are like, ooh, I wonder what she sold today. And they check out your sold listings. Well, put something there in the chat that says, well, I'm going to have more boys stuff on Tuesday. I just like to put something in the chat for whether it's buyers or sellers or interested people that happen to be peeping my show afterwards. There's a little final note, my last thought. Any questions? I see we've got some new people. So instead of a raid giveaway, I'm going to add a thanks for joining giveaway. If you'd like a giveaway, type giveaway. I type faster on my desktop than I do on my phone. So I do like to have desktop or laptop handy. I am not the best at talking and typing at the same time, but that's okay. All right. Starting that giveaway. Let me go show you what I got. These are actually really good. Okay, so I know that it's after Halloween. I bought these before Halloween. I totally forgot this year to go to CVS, Target, and the big ones to get their after Halloween candy when it's on sale because I sell in candy. But I was low on funds at the end of October and beginning of November, and so that's okay. But this is the current giveaway. These are the sour vampire bats, and these were a cult favorite on Amazon last year. People were selling these like crazy for 3-4 times the markup. So I'm going to send you some sour vampire bats. I am going to have, sorry for the a little ASMR there. You guys like ASMR? I'm going to send you some sour vampire bats, and they don't expire the day after Halloween. I don't know when these are good all the way until April of next year. So if you're on a diet, you can shelve them. Let's see. Last chance. Oh, hi, Joe Bro. Last chance for questions, and where to send you a tip is not showing up. Interesting. I don't know. Somebody else will have. It should be under the store. Thank you. Appreciate you asking. There you go. Rusty found it. It's there somewhere. Unless you are attached to PayPal or Apple Pay, PayPal and Apple Pay people cannot tip as easily. The bottom of the store. Thank you, Rusty. Family 215. I saw, did you get anything good from Girls Gone Thrifting? Because I saw you were over there and I was over there for a hot minute too. I totally missed that show, but I don't have money to be spending in her show right now. So, yes, you can rewatch this either on the app as soon as it finishes, or you can watch it on YouTube. And YouTube is a little bit easier to like pause, fast forward, etc. I could always use the YouTube views. She is great. I absolutely love Girls Gone. If she's still alive, we can go over there. Let me see if she's still alive. That's where I'd like to go while I'm listening. All right. Last call for questions. I'm going to draw a winner here and send some gummies your way. Yes, please, Joe Bro. Question for me. I love oop. And then I have some homework. I can't forget to sign the homework. Joe Bro is typing. Do I see the tags on my phone or just computer? So like if I tag my friend too cute, I did notice that it's different. Is this what you're talking about, tagging friends? So I just tagged too cute. And it just doesn't, it used to appear a different color. It's purple on the computer and it's gray on the phone. And I think that's a change, right? Oh, that reminds me, we were going to talk about the new features. Let me find that. The tags when you could, oh, so Joe Bro, are you Android or iPhone? Because I've always been able to do tags. Okay. So it could be that you weren't able to do tags before because you were Android, and we've always been able to do them on iPhone. Let me show you how. So this at the bottom of my screen is all of my live streams. This is the big boy show that I need to do, but I don't know if I'm going to be able to. For me, it's, oh, where did it go? Let me go back. Start sharing. Entire screen. And then let me go over here, live streams. You can see I have across the top just a little tiny tip of all the different things that I do. This is the current show that is live. I'm going to go to click edit stream for my next show. And you'll see that I already put tags here. It's, for me, it's a list. I know it's kind of hidden off to the side. Let's see. Oh, wow. Mustang Patty sitting quiet in the back. She cracks me up. She is one of my favorite buyers. You guys can't see it. She's one of my favorite buyers, and she likes to just listen in and find out what's going on. And congratulations, you've got some um, sour gummy bats coming your way. They're really good. All right. So let me see. Right here where I'm circling, this is where you add tags to your live stream, and if you click the word add, it will give you. Yes. So check your computer. So let me show you guys, because I chose baby and kids, it is giving me like these half dozen choices. If you click on the word see all tags, you can see all of the tags that are optional for tagging things. So you can do, men's nonfiction books, pottery, shorts, and there is a thread on the Discord where you can suggest tags. So so like bamboo is one of the ones that is here, but I have suggested like chips, soda for snacks. I suggested Christmas, Halloween, Thanksgiving, like let those be tags. They don't always add my suggestions, but they're there. Okay, so that's what it looks like on um, the desktop. And then similarly on the phone, show you real quick. If you click, oops, no, not end show, cancel, edit show. If you click edit show, when you go to do them on here, they are there for us on iPhones. Underneath category, it says tags. And then again, if you click add tags, you're limited to 3. So like if I add dollar starts, I think it's going to tell me I can't because I already have 3. Okay. So yeah, you should see it on both phone and desktop if they've added it. Again, Joe Bro, you got to talk to somebody that has Android because we iOS users. Let me see if Kerosene Kimmy is around. She's one of the. I don't know very many people that use Android. I think Sweet Red Panda maybe does too. Most of the people that I know use iPhone. But yeah, the show notes should show up on both computer and Android. I see them on both. I do everything on. I do everything in setting up my show on the desktop. I much prefer it. There's the only feature available on my phone that is not available on the desktop as an iOS user is the create a repeating show. And I'm going to add that to my list of requests. So for example, if I wanted to do Tuesday at 2:00 every Tuesday from now until forever, I would have to do that on my phone, and I always prefer to schedule things on the desktop. I just am a faster typer. Need option of repeating shows scheduling on desktop version. And so I make these suggestions in the Discord. Sometimes they get heard, sometimes they don't. Only after the show starts. So weird. Yeah, it's called platform parity. What we want and we're trying to encourage is platform parity. And I saw somebody else, saying in the Discord, like, can we please focus on making features available for Android before we add more features for iOS? And I am wholly in agreement with that. Like, I don't need any more new features on whatnot. I actually would prefer that you slow it down and make all of the features that are available on the iPhone available on the desktop and available on Android. But I'm not in charge, so not everybody is listening to me. And we all have to just keep saying it. If they hear it from more buyers and sellers, like, hey, this is so confusing. People keep telling me to look for show notes, but I'm a buyer on Android. I think the Discord is only for sellers. But if you're not a part of the Discord, please send an email to sellersupport@whatnot.com and ask for an invitation link to the Discord. Go onto the Discord and make your voice heard, because there are not enough people that sell in the categories I sell in: fashion, baby and kids, books, snacks, garage sale, the merchandise, pallet pulls, return pallets. There are not enough of us in the Discord. Instead, the Discord is 90% trading cards people, which are fine, but it's supposed to be a Discord for the entire app. It's supposed to represent viewpoints and get feedback from all of us. And I am the squeaky wheel over there because I know the things that I'm saying for and asking for are very wanted and needed, because I hear them from my buyers and so many other sellers. But not enough of us are speaking up over there. So please join, please speak up. Okay. All right. Last thing that I was going to do, this is what I've been saying all along, is all these new features. So these are a few things that I've seen and a few thoughts. Yes, I will type it again. So if you have questions, compliments, or complaints, you can send them to sellersupport@whatnot.com. And that's where if you need to know how to do something, or if something isn't going right, sellersupport@whatnot.com. There's also Zendesk. Like if you go to their blog, you can fill out the form, which does the same thing. It sends an email on your behalf. Just as a side note, trust and safety. If you're curious about rules, or you see somebody breaking the rules, or somebody's bullying you, or anything that feels off, like it feels wrong, then you would email trustandSafety@whatnot.com. Okay. They're the ones that are the authorities. They're the ones that are going to give you red flags. They're the ones that can ban your account. So if you're like, I heard a seller say that we can do this now, is that true? Trust and Safety is the authority of what those are the lawyers that say what can be done and what can't be done. The Discord invitation is what you want to request. Discord is an app. And so if you ask for the invitation link, I can't send it to you because it changes every day and it has to come from the Discord author. I don't know. I don't understand it. But once you get in there, you'll understand. You make a username the same as your Whatnot name. Then you kind of scroll down the left-hand list of the topics that interest you. You kind of read a few things and or type a few things, and you may or may not get answers or comments or help that you need. So a few of the new features that I've seen since I went live last as a teacher: emailing the buyers that our shows that their shows have been bookmarked when it says your bookmark show is coming up. So super important to try and be on time, because people are getting those emails now of their bookmark shows. Buyers like Mustang Patty and anybody else that is bookmarking a lot of shows, are you finding them to be obnoxious, helpful? I like them. I mean, I bookmark my own shows, so I like to see the view that buyers get. And then I bookmark a few of your shows, so I don't mind getting those emails. They are now also sending an email to sellers that is a summary of the show. Super helpful. Just a reminder of how your show went. And they're sending an email to sellers that is a weekly payment summary. I haven't found that to necessarily be helpful or not. I mean, I guess that's good. Now it tells us how many people have clicked the bell that show that they're interested. That is my favorite new feature. Yeah, see, that's the thing. Some people never go to that email. My email is the one where I get, like, the email that I use to bookmark is the one where I get a lot of stuff. So make sure, guys, Joe Bro and Rusty, make sure you're checking that email, because we do get things from Whatnot that are survey requests. Fill out every survey request. Make your voice heard. Say what works and doesn't work for you, what you like and you don't like. I have had people contact me to follow up and say, could you tell me more about this? That same person also canceled on me, which is not very professional, since I got up at 6 a.m. to talk to somebody from Whatnot that then, at 5:45 said, actually, I got up at 6 and they canceled what was supposed to be a 7 a.m. meeting, and I was none too happy. Like, it's not very professional. Anyway, Yeah, over 9,000. So just search for a few things. Search for the word whatnot and go through. Otherwise, I mean, I also use that one for a few other things too. So I don't know. Maybe you don't actually have to check it. Last thing, let's see. The interested bell, the bin banner. I tried to talk about that. I don't know. And then the sold listings with shadow pick. Oh, that's in the Seller Hub. I feel like in the Seller Hub under our sold listings for a long time, it was only those listings that were sold that had a picture. So if it was a pallet pull, it wasn't listed because it didn't have a picture. But now it just has this like shadowed out so that you can look through all of your solds. I don't know. For some reason, that view looked new to me. Are there any other new features that I've forgotten that you want to talk about? I think that's it, guys. I think we've done it all. Any requests for the next show? If I go live next Tuesday, I mean, I really did it to it this time, 2 hours. The approvals process, we're maybe going to talk about that. So here is your homework. Make sure you end your next show with a raid. You should end every show with a raid, but whether it's your first show, your 21st show, 101st show, every show you should end with a raid. I'm going to end this one with a raid as well. And was there anything that I missed? Make sure you bookmark all of the shows by clicking on my name and clicking on my profile. We did brainstorm. Here's a little signpost that I put in this show. It says, click that bell to be notified when I start selling sudden death. If you clicked that bell, watch. When I click start auction, I'm going to run it for 5 seconds. Notice how it says this is a notification. I put $1,000 price. I'm running it for 5 seconds. Everybody that has clicked that bell just got a notification. And let me see. I'm no longer sharing the bottom screen. I switched it off. So I'm not sure. Let's see. Yeah, I have 12 people that have clicked interested. So 12 people just got a notification. If you click that bell right now, then the next time I go to sell pre-loved sudden death for $1, you don't want to miss that. That's the most fun part of my shows. A lot of times I'll just throw new with tags things in there just to speed things up and round bundles out, but that's the best part of any of my shows, and you want to be notified. See, there you go. VIP came running. I love it. VIP is one of my best buyers. She's been with me since the beginning. So VIP, I'm gonna put some sour bats. That's too funny. I should see. Here, you know what? VIP always challenges me to think of something new. I just had a new thought. Look at this one. Let's do this. First person to say here wins a prize. Type here in the chat. All right. So here's something new that I'm going to try, okay? For my buyers, but for my sellers too. So I want everybody to click the bell. So type the word here in my auction and then click the bell where it says first person to say here wins a prize. And I will try to start rewarding those people that come running when I call them. And I think that'll be funny. Okay, so Rusty, it doesn't count yet because you would have to be somewhere else and then get that notification and then come running to my show. Now, you're usually always in my shows, but you'll still get that notification. So right now, I need all of you to go to my chat, let me show you how to do it. And I can't easily. Okay, I'll talk you through it. You have to click on the storefront, then type the word here. The listing that says first person to say here wins a prize. Click on the bell. 4 of you have done it. Okay. 4 of you have done it. And so now watch this. See if you get a notification at the top of your screen. Does it say, right? There you go. So, Miranda, you were the first person. If you send me your email address, I will send you a $5 Starbucks gift card. Okay, so I'm gonna write it down. That's fun. And VIP, you're gonna get some gummy bears. I'll put them in your next bundle. I think I maybe even actually have a bundle. Did you buy anything in the boys show? You might not have because you have girls. But your next bundle, Miranda underscore Lou, $5 Starbucks. Because then I don't have to run a giveaway. I can just, I can send you $5 Starbucks if you send me your email. There's no rules against it. I don't have to run it as a giveaway. Right? That'll be fun. So now, Miranda, every time you get that notification, if you're the first person to come into my chat and say here, then you will get, right? See, that's why I do these talk shows, you guys. Sometimes I was doing Monday chats, and then I started to do Tara Teaches on Tuesdays. And now I'm also maybe going to go back to Monday chats, but I call them join me at Starbucks, because talking these things through, even though I'm talking to myself, VIP always helps me come up with good ideas because she comes to all of my shows and she engages the chat. She tells me what she needs. She helps me fine tune. So you need those people in your chats. You need those friends, those buyers, those sellers that will test things out and ask you questions. So don't be afraid to slow things down. And I've seen, like, not my friend, but Shop 801. I love her shows at night. I catch them as often as possible. She does a short show at night, and then afterwards she follows it up with just a chat show where she's shipping. You still can buy things, and some people do, but doing a ship with me video or thrift with me video, a little bit of a chat video, as long as you still have things available and the majority of your shows are selling shows. Miranda, I just got your email, so I will send that to you later today. I think they're a good thing because then you can talk it out and talk it through. Or, if you're a new seller, don't be afraid to go live and say, can some sellers come and tell me how to do this better? I'm struggling. And people might show up and talk to you about it. I don't know. I know, VIP, thank you. Please feel free to send a letter to Whatnot. I really wish that Whatnot would sponsor these and at least give me a giveaway. Whatnot doesn't look favorably upon me, I don't think, because I purposely complain. Like, I don't complain just for complaining's sake, but I say this is not working, and it makes me really angry when I go to try and do something and you've changed it. This is what I actually typed. You guys want to hear what I typed? So I went on Discord. Yeah, exactly. I tell them to fix it, and I'm asking for things that I generally know are possible. So I went live on, what day is today? Tuesday? I don't know. It was Friday maybe. And I had this bin, or Saturday. I had this show planned where I had everything in the bin. I had put all the photographs, I had put all the sizes, I had put all the prices, and it's brand new merchandise that I had ordered specifically for Whatnot, instead of the merchandise that I've already ordered and tried to sell in my boutique that I'm trying to clearance out. This is new fun stuff that is mostly holiday themed. And so I was excited about this show, and my prices were really high. But that's what it's worth. And I don't mind doing a show like that every now and then to kind of test the marketplace and to teach my buyers, like, guys, Whatnot can be more than just clearance. Whatnot can be a place where you buy from boutique owners, new with tags, beautiful new merchandise, but you're going to have to pay up for it. But we're saving you the convenience of going to the store. We're bringing it to you. So that was my idea of this show. It was called The Wishing Elephant because that's the name of the brand. I ordered it wholesale. And it is not fair to other boutique owners for me to then just sell it to you for $2 or $3, $4 more than what I paid wholesale. That's not the way wholesale works. Wholesale, you take it times two. Maybe can discount it with a coupon or this or whatever. So if I paid $16 for a sweatshirt, then I need to charge you $32 if I own a boutique. Maybe I round it down to 30 because I'm like, I need this merchandise to move faster. That's retail mindset, right? So I filled my bin with all of these things. And then in the auction, I put a little note that said, pop up brand, the wishing elephant in the bin. Go to click on the first item and run it as an auction, which is something that we've been able to do. If you put an item in the bin, you can run it as an auction. Tried to run it as an auction and poof, suddenly my show ends. WTH. What just happened? Okay, log back in. I'm fluid enough. It's like a little dance. I'm like, don't panic. I know how to restart my show, open it back up. A new seller wouldn't. A new seller would panic and be really angry, sad, upset, probably crying that their show just ended without warning. I go back in and like, that was weird. That was strange. Okay, I did my giveaway and I did my bin drop and everything from that every show list. I super was ready. So I had two people that had already made purchases. One was a dollar purchase, one was a giveaway purchase, and these people were ready to maybe buy something else. And I go to run it again and poof, kicked out of my show again. And when it happens twice, it's obvious that it's not me, that it's the program. And so I figured it out. Oh, there's a glitch. There's a new bug. When you go to run a bin item, I can do it right now. Watch. Here's the thing. Okay, so if I do it right now, don't worry, I'm going to come back. I'll finish the rest of the story. So I'm going to click on a bin now item, buy now item. Okay, and there was two things that happened. So there's the advent calendar. So let me say that first I tried changing the price on it. And they fixed that one. So now I can actually change the price. And I can change it to $1 for one of them. And then I say, oh, I'm going to take this bin item. Let's see if they've changed it because they got mad at me. Run it. I'm going to click run as an auction, which is a choice. All right. Did y'all see what happened? Not fixed. It is a choice. I am not trying to do something that the app doesn't allow. It was allowed all the way up until Friday or so of last week, where you could choose a bin item and you could run it as an auction. It is a choice. It physically says run as an auction. If you click on that, it boots you out of your show. I know that, and you guys should know that if you get booted out of your show like that, where it's literally a poof, and all of a sudden Whatnot disappears and all you see is all of the your home screen on your phone. Click on Whatnot, click on your name, click on the show. The show is still live. It's still active. The chat is still live. Your mod will say, don't worry, she'll be back. And you can jump right back into it. But if I try to do it again, right now, if I try to run any of my bin items as auctions, it will kick me out. And since I had the entire show planned that way, and at the time, I couldn't edit them. Now I'm going to try one more time. This time, I think I can change it now. They did fix part of it. You can change the price, which you couldn't do, or at least I had trouble with. Let me see if I can edit this listing and change that buy now to an auction. So I can at least do it that way. So now I can run it as an auction. If anybody wants a dollar calendar. But that's a lot of more steps. I'm having to look at the screen. I'm having to type things. And it's not actually even there. That's really interesting. I know I just changed it to it's here on this screen, but why isn't it on this screen? Do you guys see it in my marketplace? Maybe because it's pinned? This is me live trying to fix things. All right. Yeah. Now it's super confused. And anyway. So long story short, I was very upset. I had to end that show. It was a waste of a giveaway. It was somebody that bought something for $1 looking to build a bundle that didn't get to. And so I said, it was as if, if a TV news anchor is running to the set and goes to sit down and do the evening show. I've been watching the morning show. You guys watch that? And they go to sit down, and the producers have decided that she should be standing instead of sitting for the show. And nobody has told her that. So she literally falls on her ass. That's what I said it feels like. It feels like you pulled the chair out from underneath me because something that I was able to do and that I created my entire show around, I suddenly can't do. This is a glitch. This is a bug. I hope that you can fix it because it ruined my show. And the conversations on Discord are often, we're trying our best, we didn't mean to, nobody ever intends to, instead of what I've always been taught, that you should hear what somebody's complaint is, acknowledge that complaint, and if you're at fault, apologize. So instead, I would like to hear Whatnot say, I'm so, I hear what you're saying. We understand that this is frustrating and confusing. It was not intended, but we apologize nonetheless. Don't worry, our team is working on it. We'll update you and let you know when it's fixed. That's what I expect versus if you could please just be patient and sorry, we didn't mean to. Um, and so I'd like for more of you to join the Discord so that you can echo some of my frustrations and disappointments and express your own, because I sometimes feel like I'm the only one saying like, this is wrong. It says run it as an auction, and if I try to do that, your app quits, and it shouldn't happen. So that's what happened. All right, I think I've talked enough today. Yeah. Oh, good God, it's lunchtime. um I think you might have to be a seller to join. I'm not positive. But you should be close to being a seller. I've been trying to get you to sell for forever now. Don't you doesn't your husband sell? Can't you join under his account? You can join under so if you have no idea what I'm talking about and you're still here, send an email to sellersupport@whatnot.com asking for an invitation to the Discord so that you can participate in the conversations about all things Whatnot. Oh, the VIP one is his account. Yeah, see, it all confuses me. Retail store. Perfect. All right, you've got some gummy bears coming your way because you encouraged me to think of another new fun game on Whatnot, and I love coming up with new things. And then I am going to reschedule this afternoon's show. I wasn't really prepared for it. I was hopeful, but I'm not prepared for it. But this evening I am going to do snacks, and that wishing elephant show I keep rescheduling, hoping that I can run it as a binge show, but we just tested it and I can't. So I might send another email to Whatnot. All right, this has been fun, you guys. Please catch it on the replay on YouTube. My username is Tara E. Casas on all socials. So if you're not following me on TikTok, YouTube, Instagram, please do. And let's go ahead and raid another seller. So I'm going to click the up arrow, or excuse me, in the upper right hand corner, there is a down arrow. You click that down arrow, then you click the middle choice that says create a raid. And now they give you some choices. So there's a couple people that I recently raided, Lock It In and D Archivist, that are live, but I'd rather raid somebody that there's also one that says new sellers. So let's look at some of the new sellers. Disney pins. I was just at Disneyland. I actually do want to look at pins. Lots of Pokemon cards. Hockey singles. Well, the new sellers wasn't very fun. Let's go back over to suggested. This is new. They didn't always have this, but this is great. Oh, yay, our friend Homeschool Mama is live. Let's go over to Homeschool Mama. She's doing women's contemporary, so this will be nice. This is Basil's sister and a wonderful member of the community. So let's go raid Homeschool Mama and have fun. See you guys soon. Hopefully tonight for snacks.